My name's John Grigg, and this is a family farm. My grandfather bought this farm in 1925. At the time it was 550 hectares, and my wife and I bought another extra bit, so we're up to 844 hectares. It's a mixed cropping and sheep farm, and it has multiple rivers and streams and wetlands running through it. This wetland that we're talking about now is about 10 hectares in total. We own about 8 hectares of it, and there's the neighbours who have 2 neighbours that have the other bits. Effectively, this wetland was created by a water race that was put in 1947, and a weir structure was put in for that water race and has created the wetland behind it. The water race closed in 2015, and since then I've been sort of trying to get some interest in turning it into a really good wetland. We saw an opportunity here when the water race closed, and effectively I've already been involved with conservation with the mudfish screen, which we've already had, and that's been up and running for the last couple of years, and this was another extension of that. It also creates part of the corridor that people are looking for from the mountains to the sea. This wetland project, once I'd identified it and gained some interest in it there, some of the experts, when we were discussing is what we felt was the best thing to do for this wetland there, such as sitting around a kitchen table having a cup of tea. And basically I was asked what my thoughts were as to what we need to do. My first thing was we need to repair the weir structure so that we can maintain the wetland. That was number one. The second one was control of the willows. And the third one down the track was if the plants didn't naturally come back, then we needed to add some more planting. But there was felt that there would be hopefully enough of the base seeds within there to regenerate. Still got a few sheep on the farm, and we also have dairy grazers that come to us. So we're sort of within the global farming scene. The bulk of what we do is actually seed production from overseas, so we do get a lot of foreign buyers that will come over and inspect our seeds as well. So it's a multifaceted operation, and this fits into it because we are looking after things. My grandfather, right through and father, looked after the rest of the swamp that we have. We know that there's good there, it's something that's been there for a long time, it hasn't been destroyed, so we want to look after it for generations to come. Because this farm's got 6 kilometres of Hororata River, probably 8 to 10 kilometres of creeks as well, plus we also border the Selwyn River. So there are lots of projects that we could have been involved in, and it's a matter of financial commitments and identifying them there. Basically, I've probably got enough knowledge from what we've done so far to know where to go to find out where to get help. And I think one of those main ones is if you've got a good relationship with your biodiversity officer at ECAN, whether you've got a good relationship with, depending on which of the DOC people you're dealing with, that is where very advantageous to be able to find the knowledge and to find the ways to be able to start out on the project. As far as covenanting goes there, again I've discussed it with my son and things there. Whilst we as a family own it, it won't change, the policies will not change. If for whatever reason it was going to be sold, we would covenant straight away. So effectively it's what we've done over the generations is why it's here, and we believe in ourselves and we believe that's what we need to do. Probably the one thing about this process, and that's why I've had to come from help, because we've got a farm that's got a lot of creeks, it's an expensive farm to run, so we're not able to just throw a whole lot of cash and things at it to be able to do it, even though we want to and we would love to be able to do it. So that's when we're sort of reaching out to find ways of making it work, to find funding sources, because that's probably the key to make it going. It's a multifaceted looking after, and that is probably our major thing, which is why it needs to be a project with help. In the future, I hope that this wetland there will, one, be more as it was a long time ago, that you've got lots of native birds singing in there, that you've actually got the biodiversity that is the natives, the willows are under control, and ultimately it's just a beautiful wetland. Because this wetland is right at the top of the farm, effectively upstream of the farm, we, as far as catching any nutrients or woof, it's probably going to benefit the farmers above us as opposed to us. For us, it is a corner of the farm that's not really going to be hugely productive for us, but we can see an opportunity for an environmental gain, we can see an opportunity for a biodiversity gain, and it's something that, you know, we're passionate that we need to hand on the land and the farm to the next generation in a better state than it was handed to us. And that's the underlying factor of family farms. And one of my original visions was to have walkways and everything through it and then have it to be open. Again, that might be another generation, because it is going to take a while to get it to the point where people would like to see it. So it probably won't be me that we're talking here, it'll probably be my son Hamish, and he'll be the one who has to go through that process, and you know, but we need to create something that is impressive to then be able to show it off.